Hi, I'm Scott Reel, and on behalf of ExpertVillage.com, I'd like to talk to you about tree and shrub maintenance. One of the most commonly used trees I see in the landscapes around me are Japanese maples, but I often see them used in places that probably aren't quite right for them. So before you run out and buy a Japanese maple for your yard, let's consider some of the things that are important to these trees. They're not a big tree. I mean, sure, you'll see them get to 25 or 30 feet, but that's not big for a tree. That makes them a stage 2 type tree. In other words, they like to be in the shade of other bigger trees. That's an important thing to remember when you're planting them. Otherwise, they can often get leaf scald and burn and not look real good, and then you're pruning big chunks out of it and it looks less good. It's important to take care of them like that. It'll also help maintain them with a little more moisture in the soil. Now, all that said, what do we look for in a Japanese maple? Well, this is bloodgood. Bloodgood's an old traditional. It's got a great red coloration to the leaf. Really looks sharp year round. I especially love the way that the sunlight comes through the leaves, especially this time of day. It just looks great. And it adds a big spot of color in my yard. A couple of things to look for. This plant probably wasn't the best plant to buy. It has what we call codominant trunks. Now, I bought this as a wedding tree for my wife and I, and that's why I bought it with 2 trunks. If you see codominance, the thing to look for is what we call the bark ridge in between here. If the bark ridge is still pushing out, chances are you're okay. If it's folded back in, that's not good and it's going to lead to a problem eventually. But find the Japanese maple that you like, that works for you. There's so many different sizes. Everything from the bloodgood that gets to be 30 or 40 feet to little Kagoshima here. Kagoshima is Japanese for dwarf, and I've kept this one in a bonsai container. It's very nearly the same age as the bloodgood maple back behind me. But even in the ground, this one's only going to become a few feet tall and a few feet wide. So there's a Japanese maple of almost every size, shape, and color for almost every spot in your yard. They're great trees if you take care of them and if you plant them in the right place.